यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So happy to be back with all of you. How many of you are there present today for Rath Yatra? So all of you are lucky, all of you are fortunate. So every year in Jagannath Puri there is a Rath Yatra, and whenever I have been there, I have been at least for 3 or 4 times to Jagannath Puri on Rath Yatra day. And the atmosphere that was there in Baramati today was exactly like it was in Jagannath Puri. So, what are the different aspects? In the morning time, it will rain. Before Jagannath ji comes on the Rath, it will every Rath Yatra day, it will rain because it is a pre preparation. The whole atmosphere is heated up, so it has to cool down. So, before Jagannath ji comes on the Rath, it will be raining. And by the time Jagannath ji comes on the Rath, everything will be gone. If the clouds go away, then it becomes hot. So the clouds don't go away, but it does not rain. So the clouds were there all the time till afternoon, till we finished our prasad. But it was not raining. So there is no sunlight, but there is shade. And morning rain before Jagannath ji comes on the Rath, right? And just in case it becomes too difficult, just in case it becomes too hot, then a little bit of rain will come just for cooling purposes. It won't rain like a heavy rain, but just a small shower. And the whole atmosphere towards the end when we were returning, it became a little bit hot, right? That is exactly how it happens in Jagannath Puri. So Jagannath ji is very, very mystical. It's very difficult to understand the heart of Jagannath ji. And last time when Krishna came 5,000 years back, then Indra did a mistake. Right? So Indra is in charge of rains and he did a mistake. So then later he found out he did a big mistake. He tried to disturb the whole loving affairs of Krishna with all the Brajvasis. And then when he was really repentful, because he had tried to kill all the friends and all the family members of Krishna, so he was really feeling very bad. So he said, if I go straight in front of Krishna and ask for forgiveness, I may not get forgiveness and I may get something else. So how did Indra ask for forgiveness from Krishna? He found out who is the best person closest to Krishna. And he found out Krishna loves the cows. So Gopal, जो गो का पालन करते हैं उनका नाम है गोपाल. So he went to Surbhi cow. Surbhi cow is the mother of all the cows in this world. There is a planet where all the cows stay. So he went to Surbhi and he begged for forgiveness from Surbhi. And Surbhi said that, so he asked Surbhi, can you ask for forgiveness? And just see Surbhi's heart. Just some time back, Indra has tried to kill Surbhi and so many other cows. But see the heart of Surbhi. Some murderer has killed all, tried to kill all your children. That same murderer is coming to you that now I am going to get punishment for my murdering attempt. So can you please come with me and help me to beg forgiveness? Will anybody go like that? But Surbhi went to Krishna and Indra was far behind. Indra did not even come in front. And Surbhi only came ahead and Surbhi said, Indra did some mistake, can we forgive him? So when some loud person goes to Krishna, then Krishna cannot say anything. Prabhupada would speak one story. Prabhupada would say, when we please Radharani, when we do a little bit of chanting, little bit of seva, and if we go, then we'll go in front of Krishna. And Krishna will look at us and say, whatever names you chanted, they were not really attentive. So you say, but I chanted every day. Whatever I did, but I chanted every day. But उसमें ना वो गोली में बारूद नहीं थी, सिर्फ आवाज आता था. Sometimes air gun रहता है. That is just to scare some new thief. कोई नया चोर आ गया तो उसको डराने के लिए बंदूक रहता है, उसमें कोई गोली नहीं रहता. गोली रहेगा भी तो मरने नहीं वाला है. So Krishna will say like that. Your holy name, what holy name you are talking of? There was no emotion. There was no attention. You are looking here and there and chanting Hare Krishna. So okay. I did Ekadashi at least. So what you did on Ekadashi? You ate fruits? You ate milk? I saw the menu. You're eating sabudana vada. Nice, hot, fried. Yeah. And nice dahi. And nice chutney. And nice sabudana khichdi. And nice sabudana papad. So, बाकी के दिन जितना रिच नहीं खाते उतना तो एकादशी को खाते हैं आप लोग. अरे ओके ओके वो नहीं. बट आई वेंट ऑन यात्राज ऑल्सो. भाई यात्रा में जब लेक्चर चल रहा था तो आप लेक्चर में तो बैठे नहीं थे. आप ये मंदिर वो मंदिर में दर्शन के लिए जाते थे. तो यात्रा में क्यों जाना है? थोड़ा बहुत दर्शन करना है कानों आंखों से. एंड देन रियल दर्शन इज थ्रू द ईयर्स. वी कैन नॉट सी कृष्णा विद द आईज, राइट? सो यू से अरे चैंटिंग को एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहे, एकादशी को एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहे, तीर्थ यात्रा को एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहे. बोले हाँ आई डिड सम सेवा, थोड़ा सेवा किया मैंने. तो बोले जब सेवा कर रहे थे तो फोटोग्राफर उधर घूम रहा था, उसको बोलते मेरा फोटो लो पहले. और ऐसा झाड़ू लेके ऐसा करके पोज मार रहे थे. बोले आला ना फोटो, आला ना नहीं आला. सही बात. प्रभु जी फोटो खींच रहे थे. अरे हुआ ऐसा आपके साथ? हुआ? अरे देखो मुझे नहीं मालूम था. तो बोले सेवा कहाँ है वो? दैट यू डिड जस्ट फॉर बिकमिंग फेमस, so that your photos get clicked. So my chanting is not good, my ekadashi is not good, my tirtha yatra is not good, my seva is not good. Sometimes I was reading Bhagavad Gita. So when Krishna said, but you are reading the same page for 2.5 days. नहीं वो बात अलग है, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था. But I kept it open. So Krishna says, your reading is also useless, your chanting is useless, your seva is useless, your tirtha yatra is useless. What will you say then? So finally, you know, when you get less marks in an exam and you go to your father and your father is scolding you and he says, you are useless. कुछ हर एग्जाम में फेल होता है, कुछ काम का नहीं है. Then what do you do? Yes, कभी हुआ आपके साथ ऐसा? नहीं हुआ, उनके साथ हुआ नहीं है. किसी के साथ हुआ है ऐसा? ये एग्जाम में कम मार्क, ये एग्जाम में कहो तो पिताजी बोलते हैं कुछ यूज नहीं है तो छोड़ दे कॉलेज. ऐसा हुआ कभी किसी के साथ? नहीं हुआ, मेरे साथ हुआ है. So then I did what to do. Then I went to my mother. Then mother said, क्या हुआ, इतना क्या प्रॉब्लम है? तो my father said, मार्क्स देखो उसका कितना है. So then my mother asked me, कितनी है, कितना मार्क मिला? Then I said 41, just pass. So my mother said, see, he's got 41 marks और बाजू का जो पिंटू है उसको तो 14 मिला है, तो इसको तो कम से कम 41 मिला है, राइट? फादर इज 41, 41 will get 40. But mother is always seeing something good, right? That is one quality of the mother. Although we may not have any good quality, the mother will see something good. So similarly, when our chanting is not good, our tirtha yatra is not good, our reading is not good, our seva is not good, then what will you do? You look at the mother. Then Radharani is there. Then Radharani says, you know what? Actually, he is a very nice devotee and he is better than me. Can we be better than Radharani? But if you ask Radharani, Radharani sincerely feels, genuinely feels like that. How? Don't ask me, because I am not Radharani. If you meet Radharani, Radharani sincerely, genuinely, really feels that you are better than her. And when Radharani says like that to Krishna, that he is better than me, then Krishna cannot say anything. How can Krishna say no to Radharani? So then Krishna looks at us, and then he looks at Radharani. Then again he looks at us. So, are you talking about this person? Are you talking about somebody else? So no, this person only. Then what to do? Then by the mercy of Krishna, you actually become pure just because Radharani mentioned like that. So this was told by Prabhupada. So he said that's why in the Hare Krishna mantra, the first name is Hare. We say Lakshmi Narayan, right? We don't say Narayan Lakshmi Mandir. We say Sita Ram Mandir. We don't say Ram Sita Mandir, right? We say Radha Krishna Mandir. We don't say Krishna Radha Mandir, right? So Prabhupada said the reason is because the devotees are more dependent on Radharani than on the justice aspect of Krishna. And Radharani or Sita, she represents the mercy aspect. So, two personalities, they tried to separate Ram and Sita. One is Ravan, who tried to separate Ram and Sita because he wanted to kill Ram and enjoy Sita. And another person who tried to separate Ram and Sita is Shurpanakha. Why? She wanted to kill Sita so that she can enjoy with Ram. So the fault, the mistake is the same. They are married to each other. You separate them and enjoy one. Right? But what happened to Shurpanakha and what happened to Ravan? Shurpanakha just lost her nose and ears. She did not lose her life. But Ravan lost his life. Why? The Sri Vaishnava Acharyas, they mention, although the fault is the same, in the Indian law system, if you do the same crime, you have to get the same punishment. But in Ramayana, it is not like that. How? Because they say, when Shurpanakha tried to kill Sita to enjoy Ram, the presence of Sita, see, Ram could not give justice because the Kripa Shakti is there. So, in the presence of Sita, Ram cannot be Ram. So, he did not even attack her. Can you imagine the impact of Sita on Ram? The impact of Sita on Ram is Ram cannot even give justice to Shurpanakha. Hey, don't try to kill her. She tried to kill her. She tried to kill Sita. So what did he do? He told Lakshman, do something. So Lakshman took out a sword, cut off the nose and cut off the ears. But still Shurpanakha was left alive. And that same crime was done by Ravan. What did Ravan do? Ravan took away Sita. So by taking away Sita, he exposed himself to Ram. And then when you get exposed to somebody like Ram, Ram is a very straight person, Maryada Purushottam. If you cross the borders, you are gone. Right? So then he gave justice to Ravan and Ravan got killed by Ram. So just because of Sita's presence there, Shurpanakha got her life. So this is Radharani. She is always looking good in us. And Sita Devi is also, just because she is mercy personified, then we will be saved. That's why we should always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Surbhi cow, she also loves Krishna and Krishna loves Surbhi cow. So when she asked for forgiveness from Krishna, then Krishna could not say no. So in our life, we think that devotees are a medium to get the goal of Krishna. डिवोटी क्यों चाहिए हमको? थोड़ा डिवोटी के साथ रहेंगे, महाप्रसाद भी मिलता है, थोड़ा काम हो जाता है. But main goal of life is Krishna. This is what we feel, right? But if you go deeper into the aspects of devotion, then you understand that the real fruit of devotion is tasted in the association of devotees. You may get a diamond, but if you don't know the value of the diamond, you can use it like a paperweight. So if you are not an expert in the art of recognizing diamonds, then you can use it like a paperweight. But somebody who knows the value of the diamond, he will tell you, Prabhu, why are you using that diamond as a paperweight? It's not glass, it's diamond. So, अच्छा ऐसा है क्या? Diamond है क्या? This diamond is worth lakhs of rupees. Really, I didn't know that. Similarly, sometimes even if we get Krishna, we don't realize who Krishna is. So many people in India, in their childhood days, they have worshipped Vitthal. They were exposed to Sitaram, they were exposed to Radha Krishna, but they didn't realize the value of who is Radha Krishna, who is Sitaram, who is Vitthal Rukmini. Why? Because there was no devotees around. So they received a diamond, but they thought it is an ordinary glass piece. And sometimes then you play with it, and while playing it sometimes falls down, it gets broken. It's okay, what's the difference? Thoda utha ke dal diya bazu mein. So India, Prabhupada would say, is like a Dead elephant. Dead elephant also has ivory tusks. So dead elephant is also very costly. Why? Because even if it is not working, even if it is not alive, it has ivory tusks, and ivory is very costly. So he said India today is like a dead elephant. There's so much culture, so much devotion in the hearts of people, but because of the education system, because of the political system, it's all lying dead. But if somebody can revive it, then it's a very powerful thing. So he said India is like a dead elephant. Another disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he one time gave an example of a hing container. Our भोला प्रभु must be using hing. वो डब्बे में आता है. तो हिंग सब खर्च होने के बाद में, after you use all the hing, the smell does not go away. That box of a hing will smell hing for 10 years. Right? So he was saying India is like a hing container. All the hing is gone. All the devotion is gone now because of useless education system, taking God out. But still, if you talk to Indians, if you talk to the students of India, still they have some affection for Krishna, they still have some affection. And if you give it properly, if you give proper knowledge systematically, then Indian students are really very interested in spirituality, right? So that's why initially we feel that devotees are only some kind of a tool and the goal is Krishna. But later we realize that even the goal of Krishna, to relish properly, to understand properly, you require the help of devotees. So many times in the Bhagavatam it will come that a devotee is praying to the Lord and saying, can you please give me association of devotees? Without association of devotees, I don't think my life is going good. And last time we were discussing about Dhruv Maharaj, right? So where did we stop in Dhruv Maharaj's story? What was the last point where we stopped?
Mother Suniti is not. She is telling the reality. Teachings of Suniti.
Yeah. So then she spoke about the 3 points. First point she said is, do not be having ill feelings for somebody who hates you. And second point she mentioned is, everyone gets the result of what they have done. So we should not feel that this is for somebody else. She's telling Dhruv. When we hear this, that Suniti is saying everyone will get the result of what they have done, then we feel she's talking about Suruchi. सबको मिलेगा. तो हमको क्या लगता है वो सुरुचि के बारे में बोल रही है. सुरुचि ने गलत किया ना आपके साथ, तो उनको फल मिलेगा. But Suniti was not talking about Suruchi. Suniti was telling Dhruv, there are two things, na? What you do, that result you will get. So we are thinking she's talking about what Suruchi has done and the result will come. But she was talking about the result that has already been received by Dhruv. She was not talking about the activity of Suruchi. She was talking about the result received by Dhruv. So if Dhruv has received a very harsh result, what does it mean? There is an activity and then there is a result. Yes, I asked a question to you. There is an activity and there is a result. So we feel she is talking about the activity of Suruchi and she is giving a prediction about the result that she will get. But I am saying that she was not talking about the activity of Suruchi and predicting the result that Suruchi will get. She was talking about the result that Dhruv got. So what does it indicate about the other point? Activity. So then what is the indication? What is Suniti speaking about the activity of Dhruv?
Dhruv Maharaj must have performed some activity in his past and he is getting the right.
So the karma principle many times is used for pointing out to the activities of some people, and in that way we pacify ourselves by saying he is doing wrong, na, he will get a wrong result, right? So if somebody's actions, somebody's words have hurt us, then we use the karma principle to say, just see how he talked with me, just see how he behaved with me, misbehaved with me, just see how he physically hit me. And then we use the karma principle to say, because he did this to me, activity, the result of that will be bad. So tomorrow in the future, he will definitely suffer for this misdeed. But Suniti is not talking that. Suniti is saying, if you received a bad result today, don't focus on the activity, you focus on the result. So if I received result of a misbehavior of somebody and somebody did something wrong to me, what does it mean?
We have done something wrong before.
You understood the point? There's a difference between what we think and what Suniti is speaking. So the karma principle is not to be used to look or use the principle for others. This is one of the biggest mistakes that many of us do. Karma principle is not for pointing out faults in others or to predict the problems in others' lives, mentioning that today they did something wrong, so tomorrow they will get the fruits. The karma principle is for self analysis. Certain principles in the Vedas are not for others, certain principles in the Vedas are for self. So the karma principle is for self. Of all the people, this person who spoke bad to me, this person who spoke harsh words to me, and my mind is saying, because he spoke harsh words to me, tomorrow he'll get a bad result. So the question is, of all the young boys in Baramati, how many young boys are there in Baramati? Lakhs. Out of all the young boys in Baramati, why did that person end up talking harshly or behaving harshly with me only? Why not with that boy who stays in the front building? Why not with that boy who's my classmate? This is also a question we should ask. So, Gita or any philosophical book should not be used for justifying our feelings. Philosophy is not there to justify our feelings. What I think, I will use the Gita for justifying how I am right. But Bhagavad Gita and all the other scriptures are meant to transform our thinking. They are not meant to justify our thinking. So the point is, if today's cooking, our Prabhu is really a very nice cook, but imagine that today's sabji is burnt. And while eating, you get a burnt taste. ऐसा हुआ कभी खीर कभी जली है दूध की, right? What does it mean? अगर दूध की खीर जली है, what does it indicate about what happened before? ज़्यादा पकाया या ध्यान नहीं रहा, right? खीर रखा, फ्लेम थोड़ा ज़्यादा था, in 2 minutes शायद जल गया. So similarly, when he misbehaved with me, जल गया ना इधर, right? So somewhere before, I did not have proper attention in my dealings with people. I did not speak properly with him. I did not behave properly with him. So my karma has come back to me. So this is difference in the other scriptures and the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam will focus on the self. The Bhagavatam is focused on self-advancement. And other scriptures like Mahabharata, Ramayana are focused on justice principle. So Parikshit Maharaj, if he would have thought from the justice principle, a small 7-year-old boy, he's inexperienced, he does not have any understanding also. His friend came and told him, you know what, Shringi, your father Shamik Rishi was meditating with eyes closed, and this Parikshit Maharaj, he came there and he put a dead skin around your father for no good reason. And Shringi did not even confirm it with others. He did not ask another friend, is it true what he's saying? He didn't ask. He said, how dare he do it? I pronounce a curse. He should die in 7 days and 7 nights. Imagine cursing somebody to die out of unconfirmed news. If you had the power to kill somebody by your words, and if you did not confirm, when somebody comes and tells you he did that to you, he spoke like that about you, अरे वो तुम्हारे बारे में क्या बोल रहा है उधर, and you pronounce a curse, can you imagine what will happen? That's what happened. But Shringi misused his power. He should have confirmed it, right? He should have found out what happened actually. He didn't ask, he didn't confirm. He pronounced that curse. Against whom? Against Parikshit. Parikshit is that person who threatened Kali. Who is Kali? Kali is that person who is the cause for all the four sinful habits that are happening in the world right now. Whatever sins, पाप जो भी हो रहे हैं, वो क्यों हो रहे हैं? It's basically the influence of Kali. So there, in Vedic culture, everything has a controller. Just like the college has somebody on top. If something is going on properly, it means there is somebody who's taking care of it, right? You get water on time in the morning in the tap. नल खोल दे तो पानी आता है. Automatically the water goes on the top. Yeah, but we, a small boy from the village may feel like that, right? कुएं में से पानी निकलता है ना, तो कुआं तो कोई भरता नहीं है, बट कुआं नीचे रहता है. Gravitation fills up water in the well. Who fills up water in the tank above? So there has to be somebody who switches on the motor, and then water goes on the top, right? But the small boy may not understand that, and I never saw anybody. Every day I just open the tap and water comes. So automatically it comes. No, there has to be a controller. There has to be a controller. If you see something happening properly for years and years, it will not happen like that without intervention. So the sun is rising every day on time. It means there has to be a controller. So the Vedic culture believes in, actually people feel that chance theory, everything is happening by chance. Modern science sometimes says like that. There is a Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. So what is that uncertainty principle? They're not sure. So science is talking about uncertainty principle, but the Vedas are talking that if something is happening properly, there has to be a controller. Without a person who's monitoring it, without a person who's looking into it, nothing can go on good for a long time. This is more logical. So the sun has a controlling person, the moon has a controlling person, all the planets have a controlling person. Similarly, Kali also has a ruling person, Kali Purush. And slowly he's just exiting. So at one point of time, Parikshit Maharaj was moving around in his kingdom. Why was he moving around in his kingdom? Every king was such a responsible king, he wanted to check out, I am passing rules and I am expecting people to behave in a certain way. But does it really happen like that? It's easy to say, ऐसा ऐसा नियम है, अभी ऐसा कर दो. But is it happening like that? Is it helping people or is it hurting people? So Ram also, at night, he will take on a disguise. He will change his look and appearance, and he'll just move around. And he'll hear, लोग क्या कह रहे हैं? लोगों का क्या है? It's easy to sit on the king's throne and just pass rules. But is it helping people? Is it hurting people? Sometimes the king is given wrong information by the minister. The minister will say, ऐसा ऐसा चल रहा है. And then the king will pass some law. And then the minister will tell the people, king passed this law. So the king has to have his own understanding of what is going on in the kingdom. So Parikshit is also like that. Responsible king. He's moving around and he saw one person hurting a cow. And he said, in my kingdom, nobody can hurt a cow. So he took out his sword. He said, who are you? If you are from my kingdom, you know I don't allow this. So you cannot be from my kingdom. So he gave up his robes. He was dressed like a Kshatriya. He gave up. He said, sorry, I'm Kali. So he said, you cannot stay in my kingdom. Get lost. Now all of us today are victims of bad habits. One day or other. Sometime, at least one bad habit has entered our mind, and then it took a lot of time fighting with that bad habit to take out that bad habit. It's not easy to fight with bad habits, right? one small bad habit, it takes years to take out. Is it not? Can you imagine the person who's creating bad habits in all the world, in everyone's minds? That person, if he comes in front of you, what will happen? One small bad habit, it takes so much energy and so much effort to take out. And the person who's introducing all the bad habits in everyone's heart, he is the ruler. If he comes in front of you, what will happen to you? Can you even look at him? He will be so scary. But Parikshit Maharaj threatened Kali and told him, get lost. So what must be the purity of Parikshit Maharaj? To threaten Kali. Some big gangster, I don't know who's the latest gangster, but some big gangster is creating a very messy situation in India. In Bombay, he's causing some crime. In Bhopal, he's causing crime. In Pune, he's causing crime. In Kodaikanal, he's causing crime. Right? तो उधर के जो लोग हैं वो गुंडे से भी डरते हैं, लोकल गुंडे से, राइट? वो गुंडे का जो सबसे बड़ा बॉस है वो अगर सामने आएगा तो, so if somebody can threaten that big boss, what must be the power of that person? So Parikshit Maharaj was that person. That Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die in 7 days and 7 nights by an inexperienced boy who had power but who did not have the intelligence that I should verify this. So what is the usual expected behavior of Parikshit from a standard perspective? Standard. जनरली ऐसा कभी बुरा जब होता है किसी राजा के साथ, तो राजा क्या करता है? Cursing back. If that Raja is not a very powerful Raja in terms of his power of cursing, what he will do? Military power. वो तो है ही उसके पास. So he will tell his army people, वो घर को जला दो. Right? Usually that's what happens. What else can happen? Go and talk to him and tell him, why did you curse Baba? Do you know what happened? आप थे भी नहीं वहाँ पे. कि तीसरे की बात सुन के आप मेरे को कर्स कर दिए. Right? There can be some argument like that. So he could have counter cursed, he could have killed, he could have passed a law, he could have went and fought with Shamik Rishi. आपके बेटे ने ऐसा कर दिया, क्या कर रहे हैं आप? श्रृंगी को मार सकते. So many options come, right? But what did Parikshit do? Parikshit said, actually, it seems that I became too much caught up in my kingly duties and I did not follow the path of my grandfather. मेरे दादाजी अर्जुन थे. How did Arjun do his duties? Did Arjun become too much caught up in his kingly duties, or he was always giving preference to Krishna? So whatever he did, he first checked with Krishna. युधिष्ठिर was too much philosophical. तो हमेशा बोले ये शास्त्र में ऐसे कहा है, वो शास्त्र में ऐसे कहा है. एंड भीम was too much action oriented. तो बोले ये सब सोचो मत, कान के नीचे तो सब हो जाएगा. Any problem comes is कान के नीचे तो सब हो जाता है. Right? So Bhim is always saying कान के नीचे तो. Yudhishthir is always saying ते पुस्तक काट रहे हैं. Right? And what is Arjun saying? Arjun is saying दोनों जरूरत नहीं है. Call Krishna, ask him what is the right thing to do and do it. He has a devotional approach. So some people have a philosophical approach. Some people have an action-oriented approach. And Arjun always has a devotional approach. Why you are struggling so much? Why don't you ask Krishna? Krishna is there, right? So Parikshit, when he was cursed without a good reason, he could have counteracted, but he did not counteract. What he did is, he said, actually, this is Krishna's mercy on me. Krishna wants to save me because I am the grandson of his dear devotee Arjun. And this curse that has come is actually forcing me to give up all my entanglements. Now let me actually take shelter of Krishna. So this perspective is only there in one book called Srimad Bhagavatam. All other books talk about justice. But Bhagavatam does not focus on justice. Bhagavatam focus on what is your perspective. How will you become a better devotee? Two sides to it. Somebody else can say, अरे प्रभु जी मेरे को एक बताओ, लेकिन वो सब छोड़ो, वो कर कैसे सकता है ऐसा? वो छोटा लड़का है, उसको सजा देनी चाहिए कि नहीं? वो तो ठीक है, परीक्षित ने ऐसा किया वगैरह सब किया, लेकिन श्रृंगी को किसी ने झापड़ मारा कि नहीं? फिर डिड somebody go and hit श्रृंगी? नॉनसेंस। 7-year-old बॉय, तेरी मजाल हुई, इतने बड़े राजा को तूने दी, कली को रोक के रखा है और राजा ने, अभी तूने वो राजा को मार दिया, अभी बाद में कली इधर तांडव करने वाला है. So after Parikshit was killed, then everything started. We are still facing the problems, right? So all of us should go to Shringi and tell him, you nonsense, you started this whole problem. Now we are victims of all kinds of bad habits today because you killed our protector without asking, without checking, without confirming. Can you imagine the big fault? So in this world, usually छोटी सी fault की बड़ी सजा मिलती है, right? All of us have experienced. How many of you feel नहीं प्रभु ऐसा नहीं है, बड़ी fault की छोटी सजा मिलती है, ऐसा है? None of you are agreeing because we know that छोटी सी गलती हो गई, उसका जो सजा मिलेगी, बोलने से कोई तो सुना देगा कुछ तो, या कान के नीचे देगा कुछ तो सजा मिलेगी, right? And that saja is always much more than the fault. And what did Parikshit do? Parikshit said, for this big fault, not checking, not confirming, and what is the शिक्षा क्या दिया उसने? What is the punishment that he gave? The punishment is death punishment. In the law, death punishment is the last punishment. मर्डर करेंगे तो 8 साल सजा, और कुछ करेंगे तो 20 साल सजा, और कुछ करेंगे तो लाइफ टाइम सजा. मतलब तुम मरने तक तुम जेल में रहो, बट टू किल समबडी एक्सट्रीम है वो. Usually death punishment will not be given easily to people unless he is like a proven criminal and he has again and again done something wrong. So Shringi, he's wrong on everything possible. He has no adhikar to kill a pious king, a Rajarshi like Parikshit. He did not verify, he did not confirm. And he is giving the highest punishment. And what was the crime of Parikshit that was reported? No confirmation, ठीक है. चलो वो बोलेगा मैं मेरे दोस्त के ऊपर पूरा विश्वास रखता हूँ. What was the crime that was reported? He just put a dead snake around the neck. Did he try to kill him? Did he put a live snake? So for 1 paisa mistake, what is the punishment that Shringi gave to Parikshit? 1 crore punishment. So the Bhagavatam is talking of all these extreme examples. Every Bhagavatam story is an extreme example. So usually for 1 paisa mistake, you should get punishment 1 paisa or maybe 1 rupee. But if you get punishment of 1 crore and that too death punishment, how will you feel? But Parikshit is the first person mentioned in the Bhagavatam who reacted to this by saying, no, I think whatever happened has happened properly, and I think it is my mistake only. I was getting too entangled. And while describing Parikshit Maharaj, then Shukdev Goswami, Suta Goswami is saying, Tiraskrata vipralabdha shapta kshipta hata api nahi asya tat pratikurvanti tad bhakta prabhavopi. He mentions 5 different things. Tiraskrata. मतलब a devotee is blasphemed. People write on internet, ये devotee खुद को क्या समझता है, ऐसा किया वैसा किया, they cook up stories about him. Or sometimes we are talking amongst friends, ये जो प्रभु जी है ना, ये प्रभु जी ने ऐसा किया, ये प्रभु जी का ऐसा प्रॉब्लम है, ये प्रभु जी का ऐसा गलती है करके we are spreading rumors and gossip about him. तिरस्कार करना, तिरस्कृता. विप्रलब्धा means cheating. I will say, I will come and meet you, but I don't come and meet you. I say, I'll give you notes, but I don't give you notes. I say, I'll take you to NVCC temple for some big festival, and on that day, my phone is switched off. You are waiting whole day for me. Vipralabdha, cheating. Shapta means curse. So somebody curses you for no reason. Kshipta means somebody kicks you. Somebody pushes you. How will you react? If somebody really kicks you, hurts you for no good reason, how will you react? So our heart is saying, I will also kick him. Right? That's how it is. That's normal. But Parikshit Maharaj, Tiriskrita Vipralabdha Shapta Kshipta Hata Api. Hata Api is the most dangerous. Hata Api means murdered, killed. Nahi asya tat pratikurvanti. Parikshit Maharaj, he did not give any pratikar. He did not give any reaction. He did not speak a single word against Shringi. He did not tell his minister, उसको देख लेना, मैं अभी जा रहा हूँ लेकिन मेरे बाद में देख लेना. No reaction. And he's just thinking, no, no, this is Krishna who's giving me an indication of elevating my consciousness. So Bhagavatam is the only book that tells when there is a pain in your life, then you can become happy. Puzzling, right? It's a puzzling sentence. Those who heard me properly, they are puzzled. Bhagavatam is the only book in this world which says that when you get pain in your life, you should be happy. How? That I'll explain. Why we got pain in my life? How can there be pain in my life? If I got a mango fruit, I must have sowed a mango seed. If I got a neem fruit, I must have sowed a neem seed. Have you seen any tree in this world? If you sow a neem seed, then mango fruit comes out. I want that seed. Tell me also. So one thing is very clear: as you sow, so shall you reap. जो हम करेंगे वैसा ही मिलता है. खेती में भी वैसा ही है, कुकिंग में वैसा है, पढ़ाई में ऐसा है. ऐसा हुआ कभी पढ़ाई नहीं किया और फर्स्ट आ गया? ऐसा तो मुझे भी बताओ. If you actually see in life, this rule applies in everything, right? So you just apply it in your life also. You say, something wrong happened with me today. Something painful happened with me today, right? What does it mean? Somewhere in the past, I must have done something painful to somebody. तो मेरे खाते में लिखा था वो कि इसको एक दिन बहुत बड़ा दुख होने वाला है, राइट? वो दुख आज हो गया. दे ताली. That big calamity that was going to happen in my life, that big painful situation that was written in my account. Why was it written in my account? Who wrote it in my account? The neighbor. I only wrote it because I acted harshly with him. I did some harm to him. I spoke in a very painful way to somebody. So that's what I mentioned. Neem seed, when I sow, then only I get a neem fruit. When I sow a mango seed, I don't get a neem fruit. So some big pain I caused to somebody else, and it was written in my account because he caused big pain to somebody else. One day he has to receive that big pain. So that day when that big pain was coming to my life is today. So what does it mean? It means one big pain that was supposed to come in my life is already gone. It's not going to come now. But if life is going sweet for the last 25 years, no pain has come, we should actually become worried. I'm not joking. You know why? Because none of us are saints. You understand saint? Saint means always a well-wisher, always thinking good about others, always trying to help people. How many of you feel you fit into this definition? आज तक कभी किसी का बुरा नहीं सोचा प्रभु जी. हमेशा मैं सबको मदद करता हूँ. हमेशा मेरे सामने कोई आगे जाता है तो बोलते हैं वेरी गुड, और कोई गिरता है तो उसको बोलता है चल मैं उठाता हूँ तुझे. आज तक कभी कोई फिसल के गिरा तो ऐसा मन में नहीं, अच्छा हो गया गिरा है, नालायक कहीं का, कल मैंने देखा था इसको क्या कर रहा था ये करके. एक बार कभी मन में द्वेष नहीं आया, एक बार कभी मन में ईर्ष्या नहीं आई. हमेशा मैं सबका, ऐसा कोई सेंटली है कोई? If we are not like that, then we have to accept that all of us have done mistakes. All of us have hurt people. All of us have caused pain to others, either by words, either by actions, either by behavior, right? So it means all that bad karma one day or the other is going to come to us, right? तो अगर वो आ नहीं रहा है, 25 सालों से कुछ हुआ ही नहीं गलत मेरे जीवन में. So we should understand, I must have done really something so bad कि वो सो बैड आने के लिए समय लग रहा है. अगर छोटा मोटा बैड होता तो रोज वो कट ऑफ हो जाता है अकाउंट में से. यू अंडरस्टूड द पॉइंट. सो व्हेन यू सी लाइफ फ्रॉम दिस पर्सपेक्टिव कि आज मेरे साथ जो बहुत बड़ा दुख गिर पड़ा मेरे ऊपर, बहुत अच्छी बात होगी कि मेरे अकाउंट में वो लिखा था वो कैंसिल हो गया आज. So when something goes wrong in your life, you actually you are not a crazy, you don't start smiling and start jumping here. मेरे साथ बुरा हुआ, मेरे साथ बुरा हुआ. Not that crazy reaction नहीं है वो. It's not that we become mad and we start dancing. चल आज पार्टी करेंगे. क्यों? नहीं, आज मुझे मेरा 2 लाख रुपए का लॉस हो गया. People will call you crazy. No, this is an internal adjustment that if something has gone wrong in my life, it means it was written in my account and it has come today. It means one big bad karma is destroyed. So it's a good news. So there is only one book called Srimad Bhagavatam which teaches us this perspective that in times of pain, please understand that pain came to you means it was due to come to you. आज या कल आने ही वाला था वो, आज आ गया, सब खत्म हो गया, टॉपिक क्लोज हो गया. नाउ यू कैन फोकस ऑन द गुड थिंग्स इन लाइफ. बट व्हेन यू अंडरगो दैट पेनफुल सिचुएशन, इट्स नॉट ईजी. ओनली श्रीमद् भागवतम विल गिव यू दैट अंडरस्टैंडिंग. प्रभु, बहुत बड़ा कुछ तो नुकसान होने वाला था क्योंकि तुमने कभी किसी का नुकसान किया था, वो नुकसान आज हो गया तुम्हारा. इसके आगे अभी डोंट डू नुकसान टू एनीबडी, डोंट डू बैड कर्मा टू अदर्स, lead a good life, chant Hare Krishna, no more pain in your life. You understood the point? So that's why Parikshit Maharaj, he is not going into mathematical calculation, how much to hurt Shringi, how much to insult Shamik Rishi, what is the real reason, who lied, who gave that wrong information to Shringi. So Shringi ने वो दूसरे लड़के ने जिसने खबर दिया उसको पकड़ो. No calculation. He's just saying Krishna has come into my life in the form of this curse. ये जो शाप आया है ना, वो भगवान मेरे जीवन में आए हैं और मुझे बोल रहे हैं अपनी चेतना ऊपर कीजिए. I cannot change him, I cannot change him, I cannot change him. I can change my consciousness. I can change my spectacles. Right? So in the Bhagavatam 7th canto, Narad Muni is speaking to Yudhishthir Maharaj. He speaks, this world is a very difficult world. Everywhere it's uneven. But if somebody is wearing the shoes of satisfaction, then he can travel anywhere. So Narad Muni is using this example that satisfaction, samadhan, is a pair of shoes. And if you are wearing the shoes of satisfaction, you can go anywhere and you can survive anywhere. But if you are not wearing the shoes of satisfaction, then you will have a difficult life. कितनी बड़ी चीज है ये. Those who have lot of money, but if they are always crying, they're always crying. ये नहीं गलत, ये हुआ, वो हुआ. And sometimes there are people who don't have so much money, but they're satisfied and they say, चलो भगवान ने खाने को दिया ना, भूखे तो नहीं मर रहे हैं ना, खाने को मिल रहा है 2 बार, सोने के लिए जगह है, basic needs are fulfilled. Okay, I may not have a Ray-Ban, I may not have very costly shoes, I have some chappals, I have some good clothes to cover my body, I have some spectacles. काम हो रहा है ना, तो क्या इतना crying करने का? And there are people who are crying. Why? Because they don't have branded shoes, they don't have branded clothes, they don't have branded Ray-Ban goggles. Is that a reason to cry? So अगर रोने के लिए कारण ढूंढना है तो हम ढूंढ लेंगे, और एक्चुअली खुश रहने के लिए अगर कारण ढूंढना है तो वो भी हम ढूंढ लेंगे. There are so many reasons to be happy about. Do you know anybody who is 21 years old but he has cancer? I know somebody like that. Struggling with life. Life is good, right? खाते हैं, पीते हैं, मस्त होते हैं. So, anyways, coming back to the original point, that karma principle is not to judge others. Even if you remember this one line from today's class, it will help you in your life. Never use the karma principle to judge others. Karma principle is for self-analysis. If something has gone wrong in my life, it means I must have done something wrong. So that was Suniti's second teaching to Dhruv. And the third teaching she said is, Suruchi spoke the truth. Suruchi said, if you want to take birth from my womb, then only one person can help you, that is Lord Narayan. So he said, yes, Lord Narayan is the most powerful person. You go and take shelter of Lord Narayan. And then Dhruv Maharaj started on his journey to the forest. And on the journey to the forest, he met Narad Muni. So we'll quickly also discuss that. Narad Muni was so impressed. 5-year-old boy, 6-year-old boy, Dhruv. But he's so determined to get what he wants. He's going into the forest. And this is Satyayug. Satyayug forest is not like Kaliyug forest. Now ये जो forest है वो forest नहीं है वो. Everywhere man has encroached, right? And so many wild animals are already killed. And they are hanging in the Mysore palace and all the palaces. All the tigers and the lions, right? This Satyayug, really hard, cruel, wild animals are there in the forest. And so many ghosts and rakshasas are there in the forest. So when we hear Dhruv Maharaj went to the forest, it's not an easy thing. When Ram got Vanvas, then Sita Devi is saying, I also want to come with you. And Ram says, I only got Vanvas. Why you are coming? She says, no, I am Ardhangini. I also want to come to you. So Ram spends a good amount of time frightening her. Don't come to the forest. And there are Rakshasas there in the forest. She says, that's okay. You are there. No, wild animals are there. That's okay. It's all. One of the reasons he says is at night time, sometimes there are waterfalls. वाटरफॉल में जो पानी गिरता है वो दिन में बहुत अच्छा लगता है. रात को वाटरफॉल का आवाज है, इट्स वेरी डेंजरस. हैव यू एवर बीन टू ए सी बीच एट नाइट टाइम? हाउ डू यू फील? रिमेंबर, इट्स स्कैरी. ये जो समुद्र है, पानी है ना, वो दिन में अच्छा लगता है. रात को अगर समुद्र के पास जाएंगे आप, every single wave is really, really scary. The sound that an ocean makes at night is really scary. And the waterfall, अभी ये लोनावाला वगैरह में सब लोग जाते हैं सैटरडे संडे, waterfall के नीचे बैठते हैं, right? But I can tell you, at night time, that same waterfall becomes very scary. So Ram, one of the reasons that Ram gives to Sita is, वाइल्ड एनिमल्स का उनको डर नहीं है, राक्षस का उनको डर नहीं है. तो बोलते हैं वो वाटरफॉल जो पानी गिरता है उसका आवाज रात को बहुत डेंजरस लगता है. सीता देव सेज नो प्रॉब्लम. देन शी यूजेस द लास्ट वेपन. शी सेज, माय फादर मैरिड मी टू ए पर्सन हु इज नॉट ए मैन, सो ही इज स्केयर्ड टू टेक मी. देन राम, so she loves Ram so much, she wants to go with Ram. But Ram is saying he has love for Sita. So part of Ram's love for Sita is you stay safe. And part of Sita's love for Ram is I will come with you wherever you go. So उसमें वो दो प्रेम में झगड़ा है वो. It's not that they want to insult each other. But Sita then says how to convince Ram and how to make sure that he will take me. Then she speaks very harsh words. Then he says, hey, रघुवंश में हम लोग, ऐसा मत बोलो. He says, okay, I'll take you. Then Sita Devi. So why we mentioned it? We mentioned it because of that the forest is very dangerous. So Dhruv Maharaj is going to that forest and Narad Muni is thinking, how can a small boy go to the forest? So then he intercepts in between and he says, you little small boy, you should be playing games. What are you doing in the forest? Every spiritual master will test the disciple. Because without testing, without understanding the determination, sometimes even if you speak good things to somebody, that person will not value it. Right? If a glass of water is kept somewhere here, but it's all right. So that glass of water is kept upside down, and then you're pouring water into it. To pour water in this glass, this has to be kept like this, right? If you put the glass upside down and you pour water, how much water will go inside? So sometimes our attitude is like that, an inverted glass. And there is water flowing, but not a single drop of water goes inside. So that's why it is mentioned in the Vedas that before giving initiation, the spiritual master should test the disciple. And it is also mentioned that the disciple should be completely convinced that this is my spiritual master. Till that time, he should not take initiation. Why? Because once you accept somebody as your spiritual master, you lose the adhikar to argue with him. You lose the adhikar to disobey that person. नहीं करूंगा मैं आपने जो बोला हो. As soon as you do that, that is gurur avagya, third offense against the holy name. So that's why what does Krishna say? 4.34 Tad viddhi pranipatena. First he says is pranipat. If you don't feel that he has the solution to my questions, don't ask that question. If you are asking a question to somebody and receiving the answer, you should ask that question only when you are going to implement that answer. Don't try to test the knowledge of the person to whom you are asking that question. थोड़ा देखता हूँ इनको कितना नॉलेज है. तो एक सवाल फेका. पत्ते फेकते ना हम लोग. काय कुठलं पत्ते तुझ्याकडे? राजा आहे का? मी एक पत्ता टाकतो, मग तो एक पत्ता टाकतो, मग मी एक पत्ता टाकतो, मग तो एक पत्ता टाकतो. Spiritual life is not a game of cards. Sometimes I throw a question, then you throw an answer, then again I throw a question, then you throw an answer, and sometimes I win, then I say, देखा मैं ऐसा सवाल पूछता हूँ उनको जवाब नहीं आता है उसका. You lost it. The spiritual life is not to test the knowledge and the wisdom of the teacher. Spiritual life is, again, what is the karma principle? Self. So spiritual life is you ask questions only for self development. You don't ask questions to test the knowledge of the speaker. So the disciple should be convinced about that this spiritual master is my spiritual master, and the spiritual master should be convinced that this student is actually serious, and that's why he's taking initiation. So Narad Muni is also a spiritual master. Narad Muni is going and checking him. What are you doing here? You should be in the palace playing games. So Dhruv Maharaj's face did not change. Dhruv Maharaj is looking at him. So Narad Muni understood. इसको कुछ अच्छा नहीं लगा है मेरा. So another test. He said, if you think you are a little philosophical person, मतलब मैं गेम्स खेलने वाला लड़का नहीं हूँ, मैं बड़ा हो गया हूँ. आप क्या मुझे बोल रहे हैं? At your age you should be playing games, but I am not of my age. I am a senior person. Then Narad Muni says, if you think like that, then at a certain age you realize that failure and success are two sides of the same coin. When we are small children, then we feel we should get success in every exam. But when we grow up, we understand failure can be a stepping stone to success. If you get less marks in one exam, actually it can give you that strong motivation that I think I did not study properly this time. Next time I'm going to study very systematically, and next time I'm going to score marks, right? So many times the turnaround in a student's life happens because of a failure. That failure acts as a springboard to launch you higher. In swimming pool, they jump on that board. So springboard. They push it down. Why they push it down? Because then it throws them up. For the arrow to go in the front, it has to be pulled back. So sometimes our failure can be, you can compare your failure to pulling the arrow back. And if you pull the arrow back, then you go ahead. So as you grow, you understand it's not compulsory that we win in every game. As you grow mature, you understand it's not compulsory that you have to crack every exam. But you have to compete with yourself. You have to be better than your performance in the last exam. But it's not necessary that you have to win every time. Why? Because winning may not be in our hands, but improving is always in our hands. Sometimes we win, but we don't improve ourselves. We win an exam, we crack an exam, but we have not improved our habits. We are still studying at the last moment. कल एग्जाम है तो आज रात को मैं पढ़ाई करके फर्स्ट आ गया, सबसे बड़ा शाप हो गया वो तुम्हारे ऊपर. What is the biggest curse that will happen to you? That you studied at the last moment, tomorrow is the exam, and you started studying at 11 o'clock at night, the previous night, and you stood first in the exam. That's the biggest curse. Why? Because you think this is how it works. That day you are convinced, next exam also I'll study just one night before and crack it. And what is the biggest benediction? The biggest benediction. The biggest benediction is you studied for 6 months, but you did not stand first. You stood second. That's the biggest. You know why? Because you got the habit of studying sincerely for 6 months, but you never got the pride of standing first. सो जो अच्छी चीज़ है, आदत अच्छी लग गई कि पूरे 6 महीना पढ़ाई करना चाहिए, लेकिन उसमें जो अहंकार आता है कि मैं बड़ा, वो अहंकार नहीं आया. इट्स वेरी गुड. सो वन फैमिली, नो गृहस्थ फैमिली, दे स्टे इन राधा गोपीनाथ टेम्पल, एंड अ लिटिल गर्ल, she stood first in all exams: junior KG, senior KG, first standard, second standard, third standard, fourth standard, fifth standard, sixth standard, she stood second. So every time, those days His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was easily available. Today he's not easily available. But that in those days the room door was always open. Anybody can walk, anybody can talk like that. So this girl, this is 20 years back, more than that, 25 years back. First standard, she got first rank. She went to Radhanath Maharaj's room and said, Maharaj, I got first rank. Maharaj said, very good, very nice, congratulations. So she had that habit. Every time she'll go to Maharaj and say, Maharaj, I got first rank. Maharaj, I got first rank. Maharaj, I got. Maharaj would always encourage. And this time, again, she got first rank. 6th standard. So she again went to Maharaj. Said, Maharaj, I got first rank. Maharaj said, very nice, congratulations. And then Maharaj said, sometimes you should also stand second. She felt bad because her teachers are always saying first rank, first rank, first rank. Parents are also saying first rank, first rank, first rank. Maharaj is saying sometimes you should also get second rank. So she thought Maharaj is saying you are dull. दिमाग नहीं है. That's why you should get second rank. इतना बुद्धू है, first rank कैसे मिला तुमको ऐसा? So she started crying. She went to her parents. Parents said, Maharaj said like that. Maharaj, how can Maharaj say like this? Then parents said, no, Maharaj will not say like that. You must have misunderstood. Let's go and talk again. So then the father came to Maharaj and said, Maharaj, she got first rank again. Very good, very nice, congratulations. But she was crying. Why? She is saying that you said that sometimes you should get second rank also. He said, yes, Maharaj, yes, I said like that. So Maharaj, can you please explain? Because she is crying. What I meant was, in the school, all the exams are pre-announced. The date, the syllabus, the time, everything is pre-announced, right? After passing out from school, in the university of life, how many exams are announced? Is any exam announced? कल जीवन में ऐसे होने वाला है, तैयार रहना. So sometimes there are family problems, sometimes there are financial problems, sometimes there are health problems, right? So when those problems in the university of life come unannounced, mostly we may not stand first. So Maharaj was saying, when somebody always stands first in every exam of school, then it becomes a habit that I have to stand first in the school, which is good, which is nice. But उसे impression क्या हुआ? The impression is every exam first, every exam first, every exam first. So when life gives you a sudden paper and the syllabus is not announced, the date is not announced, the time is not announced, right? And suddenly some challenge comes in life, and if you are not able to crack it, and if you get cracked by that situation, then you feel, I was such a big scholar in school and I am not able to face situations in my life. It hurts more. So Maharaj was saying, I did not say that she is dull. I did not say that she should not stand first. I said, sometimes you should also stand second. You know why? The pride of coming first in all exams should be broken. वो जो एक अहंकार है ना, हर एग्जाम में मैंने बचपन से लेके मेरी उम्र अभी 24 है, एक भी एग्जाम में मैं फर्स्ट नहीं आया, ऐसा नहीं हुआ. हर एग्जाम में मैं फर्स्ट था. ये जो अहंकार है, वो अहंकार बहुत तकलीफ करता है. क्यों? क्योंकि जीवन में जब समस्या आती है तो बोल के नहीं आती है, और कई बार हमारा तीनों स्टम्प्स उड़ जाता है. उस समय अगर हमको आदत है फर्स्ट फर्स्ट फर्स्ट, दैट डे वी गो इनटू डिप्रेशन. बट इफ वंस इन ए वाइल, ओ 6th स्टैंडर्ड में सेकंड आई थी मैं, फिर 7th में फर्स्ट, 8th में फर्स्ट, 9th में फर्स्ट, 10th में सेकंड, तो बीच में सेकंड जब आते हैं, वो अहंकार नहीं रहता है कि हाउ डेयर आई डोंट स्टैंड फर्स्ट. And because you don't have ahankar, you don't go into depression. And because you don't go into depression, when the challenge comes, you are ready to fight with the challenge. But when you go into depression, then you sulk. Then you sit down and then you think, oh, मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? So Narad Muni, so Maharaj explained that I want her to become strong. I don't want her to become weak. When you have your own definition of success, then sometimes it is a sign of weakness. But when you accept life's definition of success, that means you are strong. So why are we speaking all this? Because none of us should feel that failure is bad and success is good. Inherently, that thing is not good, and inherently, that thing is not bad. This kartal, most of you will say, if I ask this question, you say it is good, but I can hit somebody with this kartal and sharp. Last time when I was playing करताल, ये स्किन निकल गया मेरा. क्यों? क्योंकि ये इसके बीच का जो रहता है ना, उसे करताल can hurt also. And for 1 week I was having a bandage here. So can kartal hurt? Yes. Can a kartal make sound? Yes. I should learn how to play it properly so that it does not take that skin. If some of you knows how to play mridanga, if you play mridanga wrong, if you don't play mridanga properly, your fingers get hurt. There is a proper art. So is mridanga good or is mridanga bad? If you don't know how to play it properly, mridanga is bad. But if you learn how to use it properly, mridanga is very good. Similarly, failure and success inherently, they are not bad and good. Failure, if you understand properly, you deal with it properly, you use it as a springboard, it's very good. And if success makes you proud, and success makes you egoistic, and success makes you look down upon people, then success is bad. So that's why if you go deeper into life, then you understand it's all about how you look at life. What is your consciousness? How are you looking at people? How are you looking at things? How are you dealing with people? So Dhruv Maharaj is saying, okay, you did not accept my suggestion that small boy, you should be playing games. So you are saying you are grown up. So as a grown up person, you should understand honor and dishonor are two sides of the same coin. Sometimes you get honor, sometimes you don't get honor. So if somebody has insulted you, Suruchi has insulted you, your stepmother has insulted you, what is the big problem? तो छोटे बच्चे हैं अगर आप, तो चले जाओ वापस खेलो. और अगर आप बोल रहे हैं कि मैं छोटा बच्चा नहीं हूँ, मैं बड़ा हो गया हूँ, तो बड़े लोगों को तो मालूम होना चाहिए कि हार जीत ये एक ही कॉइन के दो भाग है. सक्सेस एंड डिफीट, दे कीप कमिंग. रेन एंड हीट, they keep coming. So honor and dishonor, two sides of the same. So did your stepmother dishonor you? She spoke insulting words to you. So आज dishonor है, कल honor हो जाएगा. So you should go back. Narad Muni is using his intelligence to convince and test the determination of Dhruv. Dhruv's face did not change. So he's saying, by asking him to go back, no change. Then I'm telling him, tolerate honor and dishonor, no change. So then he says, okay, you tell me, what do you want? So he says, see, your instructions are very good. I agree with your instructions. Not for accepting. I don't accept your instructions. I agree. अंतर है ना दोनों में. ये चीज़ अच्छी है लेकिन मैं नहीं करूँगा. So your instructions are good, but I cannot accept it because I want to get a place from which nobody can move me. So in one sense, Narad Muni, a pure Vaishnav, a pure devotee, was pouring the instructions that could have transformed Dhruv's life right there at that time. But Dhruv's heart was like an inverted glass. And because none of those instructions entered his heart, so he said, can you help me get that place from where nobody can shake me? If you can help me, help me. If you cannot help me, move aside. So Narad Muni said, he's really serious. So he has a lot of power. In a dam of water, there is a lot of power. Every dam of water has a lot of power. In the rainfall, if the water level rises, and you don't allow the water to go from the dam, then what happens? It overflows. And when it overflows, what happens? You have no control over the way in which that water will flow. Yes. So then that water becomes destructive water. If you want to prevent destructive effect of water, what should you do? The dam has to be released. The water has to be released, right? And why the water has to be released? Because you can control the water that you will release. You know the timing when you should release. You know the quantity should. एक घंटे में अगर वो खोलेंगे वॉल तो कितना पानी जाता है वो आपको मालूम है ना. So you can calculate and you can release it, right? But if you stop it and you don't release it, then the water that flows is destructive water, right? The LPG gas cylinder, there's a lot of gas there. Yes. If you put a valve on top, there's that red colored cap on top. उसमें से एक pipe आता है. That pipe goes to the stove, and then you click it, and then the flame comes. So that flame is very good flame. Why? Because that flame can help us in cooking. And how is that flame coming? That flame is coming from the LPG gas. But if that top valve is not there, if gas comes out unregulated, इसलिए उसको बोलते हैं रेगुलेटर बोलते हैं. अनरेगुलेटेड अनकंट्रोल जब गैस बाहर आता है तो उसको क्या होता है? तब से एक एक्सप्लोजन होता है. एंड समटाइम्स डिजास्टर कैन हैपन. Same LPG gas cylinder. Why there was an explosion? Because unregulated it came out. And if you can manage with a good regulator how it comes out, then you can utilize it for cooking. तो खाना खा सकते हैं, जिंदा रह सकते हैं, और अगर अच्छे से कंट्रोल नहीं किया तो मरण भी कर सकते हैं. Similarly, dam also, the water, if it comes out properly regulated way, it can give life by giving you crops. But that same water, when it is not regulated properly, then it can come out in a disastrous way and it can destroy people's homes, it can destroy people's lives, right? So similarly, the passion in a person is like that high energy. Any passionate person, example Dhruv Maharaj, he has a lot of energy. So Narad Muni understood, if this passion is not released properly, this passion can be disastrous because he has that envious attitude. उसकी माँ ने इतना सब बताया लेकिन सुना नहीं उसने वो. It did not enter his heart. Because if it had entered his heart, then when Narad Muni is telling, अरे छोड़ दो, हार जीत तो जीवन के दो भाग है, he would have gone back. Yeah, my mother also said like that. He would have gone back, but he said no. It means his mother's words were in the ears, they did not go in his heart. That's why Narad Muni's words also did not go in his heart, they were still in his ears. So when that kind of passion is there, that kind of energy is there, it has to be utilized. If you don't utilize that energy will come out in the wrong way. You understood the point? When Prabhupada reached the West, all the youngsters were on the street. Their passion, their energy was not being utilized properly, and so it came out in sex, drugs. So the hippies were basically engaged in all kinds of nonsense activity. Prabhupada, what did he do? He understood they have a lot of power. So Prabhupada channelized it. Prabhupada regulated it. What are the four principles called? They were regulative principles of freedom. It's a very interesting term that Prabhupada uses, 2.59. Regulative principles of freedom. Regulation means no freedom, stopping something. But Prabhupada is calling them regulative principles of freedom. If you practice these regulative principles, you will become free. And if you say, I am free, I will not practice any regulative principles, then you will become more and more caught in the laws of nature. आप में से कितने लोग का ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस है? So when you drive, do you follow some laws? You drive only on the left side. You say, Prabhu, if I don't drive on the left side, what will happen? The police will catch me. And when the police catches, then he will take away my license. And when he takes away my license, I cannot drive only. So if you follow the regulative principle of driving on the left side, then you are free to drive your whole life. बट इफ यू से मैं किसी का नहीं सुनूंगा, आई एम ए फ्री बर्ड, देन यू समटाइम्स ड्राइव ऑन द राइट साइड, देन योर लाइसेंस इज टेकन अवे, you lose the right to drive your whole life. Understood? So how does life work? You practice a little bit regulation, and by practicing a little bit of regulation you get more freedom. And if you use a little bit of, I'll not practice any regulation, I'm a free bird, then more and more regulation comes on you. जो लोग गलत साइड पे ड्राइविंग करते हैं उनका लाइसेंस लिया जाता है. So I'm just giving you a very simple example, right? It is told that we should not steal from others' pocket. You say, I am a free bird, I don't listen to anybody. You take money from somebody's pocket, you'll go to jail. So if you take money from somebody else's pocket, you lose access to your own pocket. You understood the point? When you take money from somebody else's pocket, you lose access to your own pocket because you are put in jail and all your money is taken away. जेल में रहता है क्या क्रेडिट कार्ड, एटीएम मशीन रहता है क्या जेल में कभी कभी यूज करने के लिए? So your own wallet, your own bank account, you don't have access to it. You know why? Because you tried to put your hand in another's bank account. Interesting, right? But if you say, I will follow the law, I will never put my hand in anybody else's bank account, I will always put hand in my own bank account, you can continue to use your bank account for your whole life. So by following the regulation of law, you are getting more and more freedom. And if you decide, I want to be a free bird, I will not follow any law, then even that much little freedom is also taken away. So this is what Srila Prabhupada saw. Srila Prabhupada told them, see, anyways life is like that. थोड़ा अगर प्रिंसिपल्स फॉलो करते हैं ड्राइविंग में, खाने में, अरे मेरे को ये बहुत अच्छा लगा, इसको तो मैं बहुत खाऊंगा, व्हाट हैपेंस द नेक्स्ट डे? Diarrhea, and you cannot even eat dal rice. If you eat too much fried food is very good, but if you eat too much fried food, next day this is diarrhea, you cannot even eat dal rice, right? But you say नहीं, थोड़ा दाल राइस खाऊंगा, थोड़ा फ्राइड खाऊंगा, थोड़ा स्वीट खाऊंगा, you can eat dal rice sweet and fried your whole life. What is diabetes? Anybody knows diabetes? घर में है किसी को diabetes? You know what is diabetes? Diabetes is too much eating of sweets, more than necessary. And what happens then when you get diabetes? They say no sweets. फिर बोलते हैं स्वीट अगर है देखेंगे तो शुगर बढ़ेगा, देखने का भी नहीं. जोकिंग. So if somebody is eating too many sweets, then he is told no sweet, zero. समझा? देखने का भी नहीं उधर. His whole life he cannot eat sweet. Why? Because he overdid it. What is the principle? थोड़ा स्वीट खाने का, थोड़ा दाल खाने का, थोड़ा चावल खाने का, थोड़ा रोटी खाने का, थोड़ा फ्राइड खाने का, तो जिंदगी भर स्वीट खा सकते हैं, जिंदगी भर. See, your life is made up of follow regulation and enjoy freedom for whole life. And if you try to do excess freedom, then you lose all power, all freedom, your whole life. Simple. So in the West, when Prabhupada went, they were leading an animal life. Animals की तरह जीवन जी रहे थे. But Prabhupada saw they are very determined. And it's easy to reject people. That anybody can do. Any fool can do. But it takes intelligence to channelize energy. So Prabhupada understood they have a lot of energy, it needs to be channelized. So Prabhupada said, he gave them examples from Delhi से थोड़ा अगर रेगुलेशन फॉलो करेंगे और उससे अगर लंबी जिंदगी अच्छी रहेगी तो अच्छा रहेगा ना. तो बोले हाँ बात में दम है. He only gave all these examples, they are not my examples. So in this way he convinced them, those who were leading sinful lives, those who were breaking all the regulative principles every day, they started practicing regulative principles. And they said, Prabhupada, yes, what you are saying makes sense. And now they are good Vaishnavas. So similarly, Narad Muni is looking at Dhruv Maharaj, and Narad Muni is saying, he has so much energy. नहीं सुनूंगा मैं, मुझे वो चाहिए, मैं छोड़ के नहीं रहूँगा, मैं जंगल में जाऊँगा, मैं अकेला सोऊंगा, मेरे साथ सीता भी नहीं, राम भी नहीं, लेकिन मैं अकेला जाऊँगा, लेकिन मैं करके रहूँगा. इतना एनर्जी है, इसको चैनलाइज करना चाहिए. So always remember this, anytime you see energy in this world, it's easy to exploit it and it's easy to reject it. डिफिकल्ट थिंग इज टू चैनलाइज इट. चैनलाइज मतलब उसको सही मात्रा में, सही तरीके से, अच्छे कार्य में लगाना, इसको बोलते हैं चैनलाइज इट. सो डैम वाटर, इफ यू चैनलाइज इट, इट्स वेरी नाइस. हाई वोल्टेज इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वो बड़े बड़े जाते हैं, उसको चैनलाइज करेंगे 220 वोल्ट्स में, इट कैन लाइट अप योर होम एंड इट कैन वर्क नाइसली. अगर 440 वोल्ट्स इधर आएगा, ये सब उड़ जाएगा, खराब हो जाएगा. चैनलाइज इट, चैनलाइज इट, चैनलाइज इट. प्रभुपाद चैनलाइज्ड इट. प्रभुपाद डिड नॉट रिजेक्ट एनीबडी. किसी को नहीं बोले यू आर यूजलेस. सर नहीं, इसको कुछ तो सेवा देता हूँ ऐसे कि इसके पास जो क्वालिटीज़ है वो भगवान की सेवा में यूज़ हो. It takes lot of wisdom, it takes lot of maturity, it takes lot of understanding to channelize energy. Anybody who learns the art of channelizing energy can become successful and can get anything done in this life. Prabhupada showed it. 69 age में to start a society is impossible. So Bhakti Charu Maharaj one time was saying, we keep talking about Prabhupada, but we will never understand what Prabhupada underwent till our age becomes 69. We can glorify Prabhupada Vyas Puja. Prabhupada is so amazing. Prabhupada, how did he do that? But to actually understand what Prabhupada did, the minimum condition is your age should not be 34. Your age should be 69. So 69 में जब बॉडी वीक हो जाता है, चलने में तकलीफ होती है, सीढ़ियाँ चढ़ने में तकलीफ होती है, आंखों को दिखता नहीं है, सुनने में नहीं आता है, रात को नींद नहीं आती है, उस सिचुएशन में to deal with new young boys who are not from your culture, tell them, answer their questions, cook for them, wash their pots, teach them who is Krishna, who is Balaram, who is Subhadra, who is Jagannath, teach them how to make Rath and start Rath Yatra. It is not impossible. It is beyond inconceivable. It's not impossible. Only Prabhupada can do it. सो हाउ वॉज प्रभुपाद एबल टू डू समथिंग. है आपकी कोई दादाजी है क्या 69 एज के? उनको पूछो आप. चलो अभी बाहर चलते हैं, देश के बाहर, 40 रुपया जेब में लेके. वो बारामती के बाहर नहीं जाते 40 रुपया लेके. टू गो टू पूना पीपल कैरी 5,000 रुपीज़. एनीबडी ऑफ यू गोज टू पूना विथ 40 रुपीज़? अरे पूना छोड़ो, यहाँ से कंपनी में जाते हैं जॉब में तो 40 रुपया रहता है क्या जेब में? Prabhupada went to America with 40 rupees, with that weak body, 69 years age. But why did he become successful? If you see, there is no material cause for his success. There is only one cause. Why? He saw good in everyone. This young boy is smoking drugs and this and that, but Prabhupada said, no, but he has some good quality. How to channelize his energy in Krishna service? Always seeing good in a place where there was no good, but Prabhupada saw good. So whose quality was it? I explained in the beginning of the class. Radharani's quality. Radharani always sees good. So Prabhupada always saw good, blessed by Radharani. And by seeing good, he channelized their energy. So Dhruv Maharaj also is an advanced Vaishnava. Dhruv Maharaj saw he has so much energy. He said it's easy to reject. Because he rejected नारद मुनि. He rejected नारद मुनि. भाई ये सब अच्छी अच्छी बातें हैं लेकिन मुझे काम में नहीं आती है. मदद करने तो करो, नहीं तो बाहर निकलो. Right? He is rejecting. He is insulting नारद मुनि. So one is you speak very nicely and that person says sorry but not possible. And one is to hear from a small little boy and who? नारद मुनि. कौन कौन शिष्य है नारद मुनि के? बड़े बड़े शिष्य है नारद मुनि. ओ नारद मुनि सबसे सक्सेसफुल स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर. उसको एक छोटा सा लड़का बोल रहा है मदद करना है तो करो, नहीं तो फूटो. हाउ इट मस्ट हैव affected, but Narad Muni is not taking it as a pain. Narad Muni is saying he has a lot of energy. He has come to the forest. He is not even seeking shelter in his mother's cooking. He is determined, right? So he has a dam full of water of determination. वो पूरे डैम में डिटर्मिनेशन भरा है इसका. उसको अगर मैं अच्छे से चैनलाइज नहीं करूँगा ये डैम फूटेगा. और जब डैम फूटेगा तो इसकी ज़िंदगी बर्बाद होगी. क्या होगा? यूजुअली व्हाट हैपेंस, डिटर्मिनेशन विल कम आउट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ रिवेंज. He was insulted, na? So insult plus determination is usually equal to revenge. मेरा इंसल्ट किया, अभी मैं दिखाता हूँ मैं कौन हूँ. Revenge. Narad Muni said, I will not allow this dam to break. This dam of determination I will not allow to break. I will channelize it. He said, बेटा तुझे क्या चाहिए? बोले, I want a place from where nobody can shake me. I will teach you how to. एक काम करो. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ये मंत्र चैंट करने का. And because it is mantra of the Lord will give you that place. Okay, will you do it? Yes. मदद करेगा ना, मुझे मिलेगा ना. मैं बोलता हूँ तुझे मिलेगा, भगवान तुझे देंगे, मेरा विश्वास कर. He did not reject Dhruv, although Dhruv rejected him. He did not insult Dhruv, although Dhruv insulted him. Prabhupada never rejected anybody, although people sometimes rejected Prabhupada. So that quality of a Vaishnava is to always see the bright side in every person and see how to channelize this energy. We have to really pray to Radharani, we have to pray to Narad Muni, we have to pray to Prabhupada saying, I don't have that quality of seeing good in others. Please teach me the art of always seeing good, that small little good in others, and fan it and learn to channelize that energy. So when he told Dhruv, you can chant this Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya mantra, then Dhruv understood it. Yes. काम हो रहा है ना, तो कृष्णा से होने दो या कहीं से होने दो, काम हो रहा होना चाहिए, काम हो जाएगा तुम्हारा. आज तक ये चेक कभी बाउंस नहीं हुआ. जिसने भी भगवान का नाम लिया है उसको सब कुछ मिला है. So he said, okay, I will chant. And then what is the process? He gave him the process. First he described the form of the Lord. He started describing. The Lord has a bluish, blackish complexion. He has a very nice nose. The lips and the eyes are pink and red. He has long hair. He has a yellow dhoti, and there are some bells, ghanti, near his waist. He has a broad chest. On his neck there is a Kaustuba Mani. From top to bottom, Narad Muni started describing the Lord. अभी तक क्या था ध्रुव के लिए? कृष्णा और नारायण, not Krishna, Narayan. Suruchi mentioned Narayan. Suniti confirmed Narayan. Narad Muni also confirmed Narayan. For him, Narayan was a person who will help him get what he wants. Somebody wants admission in a college, तो बोले अरे वो एडमिशन कैसे मिलेगा? तो बोले ये प्रोफेसर है, उनको मिल लेना. बोले ठीक है, काम हो जाएगा, काम हो जाएगा. We are not interested if that person is beautiful, right? But if you come to know जो व्यक्ति तुमको मदद करने वाला है very attractive, then you become more interested, right? So he described the form of the Lord. This Dhruv started thinking, wow, this Narayan is not just a strong person. Narayan is not just powerful person. Narayan is a very attractive person. We may know somebody who is very powerful, but is that person beautiful? Not necessary. But if you know somebody who is a very powerful person, but he is also a very beautiful person, then you feel double फायदा हो गया, right? So then Dhruv started hearing very attentively. अच्छा, नाक ऐसा है, दांत ऐसे हैं, कान ऐसे हैं. Became very attracted. Then Narad Muni did not stop there. नारद मुनि ने पकड़ लिया, अभी मछली पकड़ ली, अभी उसको सिर्फ बाहर निकालना है. Then Narad Muni started describing the character of the Lord. He said the Supreme Lord is very merciful to his devotees. In this way he started describing the inner beauty. First he described the outer beauty, then he described the inner beauty. So once you understand this person is very powerful, this person is very beautiful, and this person also has a very sweet character, what more do you want in any person? Powerful people usually don't have character, and character people often don't have power. And those who have power and character may not be beautiful, and those who have beautiful may not have power, right? It's very rare to have a very powerful person, externally beautiful, and also having good character inside. So ये सब ऐसे एक उसको पकड़ रहे थे ध्रुव को. He got caught because Narad Muni is not an ordinary person. Narad Muni is empowered. Narad Muni is very pure person. तो ऐसे उनको पकड़ लिया. तो पहले बोले काम के हैं, पावर है, फिर बोले ब्यूटी है, फिर कैरेक्टर है, फिर बोले एक्सेसिबिलिटी भी चाहिए ना. I tell you, there is this person in Delhi, very powerful, and at one point of time he was Mr. Universe. अच्छा, मिस्टर यूनिवर्स भी है, पावरफुल भी है, काम हो जाएगा. और इतनी मीठी बातें करते हैं ना. आप जब जाएंगे ना घर में, पहले आपको बिठाएंगे, फिर आपके पैर भी दबाएंगे. बोले मैं मेरे काम के लिए जो, हाँ लेकिन वो अच्छे हैं, वो आपके पैर दबाएंगे. बोले अच्छा, कैसे जाते हैं उनके? बोले वो घर का एड्रेस किसी को देते नहीं है लेकिन. So powerful person, beautiful person, character person, but no accessibility. What is the use? So then the last point that Narad Muni mentioned is this Narayan, who is very powerful, who is very beautiful, and who has a very sweet character, is very easily accessible also. How? He said, you can make his deity. How? In sand or in soil. Just mix some Yamuna water and make a deity of Narayan and then start worshipping him. ऐसा वो जो नारायण है, वो जो वैकुंठ में रहते हैं, हाँ एक मूर्ति बनानी है उनकी. थोड़ी मिट्टी ले लो, थोड़ा पानी ले लो, उसको गोला करो, उसको आकार दे दो, मूर्ति बन गई. और ऐसा उसको प्रार्थना करो, क्योंकि भगवान से ये सब सृष्टि बनी है, तो सृष्टि के कण कण में भगवान है, तो गलत नहीं है मूर्ति बनाना. सो थिंक अबाउट इट. ए स्मॉल बॉय is hearing about the power of Narayan, the beauty of Narayan, the character of Narayan, and the last point was accessibility of Narayan. Then Dhruv was completely convinced, I have to pray to Narayan. And then he started praying to Narayan. And he started chanting, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, one is desire. Many people have a desire, but desire should be followed by endeavor. Endeavor means hard work. And many people have a desire and they also do endeavor, but the endeavor and the desire has to be followed by a prayer. Why? Because desire and endeavor is on our side. But when we offer a prayer to the Lord, then the Lord also sanctions it. So what is the difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person? It's not that the unsuccessful person did not try. मेहनत नहीं किया ऐसा नहीं रहता है. मेहनत किया, लेकिन उसने जिस तरह से मेहनत किया वो काम नहीं हुआ उसका. Why? Because the Lord did not sanction it. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, उसको क्या बोलते हैं, नसीब में नहीं था. तूने भी बहुत मेहनत किया, तूने भी 4 घंटा पढ़ाई किया, तूने भी 4 घंटा पढ़ाई किया, लेकिन तेरे को अच्छे मार्क्स मिले, इसको क्यों नहीं मिले? वही किताब, वही पढ़ाई, लेकिन नहीं मिले. क्यों? नसीब में नहीं था. क्यों? One thing is you put some efforts, and another thing Lord has to sanction. So some of us, we don't try only, and we then say, कृष्णा का भक्ति करता हूँ, कृष्णा का माला करता हूँ, उनको पढ़ी है तो हम पास करेंगे. That's not the right attitude. And another is the atheists who say, I don't need God, I will do everything on my own, I don't need God. That is also wrong. And what is a devotee? Devotee is not a sentimentalist who says, I will not study, Hare Krishna करेंगे, Krishna पास करेंगे. He does not say like that. Because a devotee means he does not use Krishna in his service, he serves Krishna. So sentimentalist is not devotee. Sentimentalist है, अरे वो भगवान को तुलसी अर्पण करने का, पढ़ाई वगैरह कुछ करने का नहीं, भगवान को बोलने का पास करा दो, पास कराएंगे तो सबको बोलने का, अरे ये भगवान है ना, इसको प्रे करने का, पढ़ाई नहीं करने का, पास करा देते, मेरे को भी पास किया. This is not right. We don't engage Krishna in our service. So this is sentimentalism. And what is atheism? Atheism is, who God? What God? मैं हूँ ना. And what is a devotee? Devotee takes the hard work aspect of an atheist. He learns how to do hard work from the atheist, and he learns how to depend on God from the sentimentalist. Sentimentalist क्या बोलता है? भगवान का नाम लो सब हो जाता है. बहुत बहुत भगवान का नाम लेता है. तो डिवोटी क्या करता है? सब जगह से सीखता है वो. और जो सेंटिमेंटलिस्ट है बोलते हैं भगवान का नाम लेने से सब होता है, उससे वो डिवोशन सीखता है. बोला ऐसा विश्वास होना चाहिए. लेकिन एथिस्ट से क्या सीखता है? मेहनत करना चाहिए. सो डिवोटी क्या करता है? एथीस्ट की तरह मेहनत करता है और सेंटिमेंटलिस्ट की तरह उस भगवान पे डिपेंडेंस रखता है. When these two things come together, then Krishna says, this person is so hardworking and he's also devoted and he's also dependent on me. I have to give him success. So Dhruv Maharaj had lot of desire and he also had endeavor. But Narad Muni as a Vaishnav gave him that prayer. So he's attracted by the power of the Lord, he's attracted by the beauty of the Lord, he's attracted by the character of the Lord, and the last thing that touched his heart is the accessibility of the Lord. इतना आसान है मूर्ति बनाना, इतना आसान है. और प्रेयर क्या करना है? ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. एंड दिस advice by Narad Muni did magic in Dhruv Maharaj's heart. Because we have heard of stories of Vishwamitra Muni performing tapasya for 60,000 years. After 60,000 years of tapasya, his eyes were closed, and there was one beautiful apsara called Menka. She came and she had payal on her feet, and she came and chan chan. Bas. By the chan chan noise, he got agitated. His eyes were closed. But by that noise, he opened his eyes. And when he opened his eyes, he saw the form. And he gave up his tapasya. 60,000 years of tapasya got broken by chan chan. And Dhruv Maharaj, 6 months of tapasya and chanting the holy names and following the advice of a pure devotee, he got something which Vishwamitra Muni did not get in 60,000 years. How is it possible like that? What is so special about Dhruv Maharaj that 6 months he got darshan of Narayan, and Vishwamitra Muni 60,000 years of tapasya, but the chan chan disturbed him? Huh? The blessings of a pure devotee. Vishwamitra did not take blessings of Narad Muni. He is trying to conquer his mind on his own. मैं करूंगा, मैं तपस्या करूंगा, तो मैं गिरूंगा भी. But Dhruv is saying, you will help me? Narad Muni is, help me? Narad Muni is saying, Om Namo, okay, Om Namo Bhagavate. He is taking shelter of the Lord. There is a lot of difference between trying to conquer your mind on your own and trying to please Krishna and let Krishna control my mind. So Dhruv Maharaj, strong desire, committed endeavor, followed by sincere prayer. This gave him success in 6 months, which has never ever happened in history before Dhruv and after Dhruv. After Dhruv also there is no story. 6 months में भगवान के दर्शन, स्वयं साक्षात नारायण सामने खड़े हैं. Only one person. But actually it was an extreme case of, kind of trying to disobey the Guru. But it was the goodness of Narad Muni. He never took it like that कि ये मुझे सिखा रहा है अभी क्या करना चाहिए करके. He never saw it like that. He said no, lot of passion, lot of energy, this has to be channelized. And because of that good attitude of Narad Muni, that he did not reject Dhruv Maharaj and he instead decided to channelize his energy, Dhruv Maharaj became a success story, an uncommon success story that na bhuto na bhavishyati. 6 months में भगवान के दर्शन मिले. तो we feel it is Dhruv Maharaj's hard work. It's not Dhruv Maharaj's hard work. हार्ड वर्क करने वाले बहुत लोग हैं. विश्वामित्र मुनि ने भी हार्ड वर्क किया. It is actually the blessings of his guru, Narad Muni. Because of Narad Muni's blessings, he achieved something which nobody else attained. And so, by the order of Srila Prabhupada, we also have received. All of us have a desire to be successful in life. All of us want to work hard to be successful in life. Many of us are missing the third aspect, that a prayer, right? So that's why Akhil Bandhu Prabhu, whenever he comes here, he's saying, you should chant Hare Krishna sincerely. Hare Krishna is not a hobby. Hare Krishna is not that you do sometimes. जब थोड़ा डाउन लगता है तो हरे कृष्णा करूँगा मैं. खाना ऐसा नहीं खाते हैं ना हम लोग. जब डाउन लगता है तो खाना खाते हैं, ऐसा नहीं. खाना तो रोज खाते हैं. actually, if we learn to offer that prayer to Krishna, Dhruv is saying Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So strong desire, committed endeavor, and a sincere prayer, sincere chanting of Hare Krishna, all of us can receive something that has never been received by anybody else. And many of your friends will say, तू तो मेरे साथ था, ऑर्डिनरी था, तू यहाँ कहाँ आगे चला गया इतना, तुझे कैसे मिला? अरे मैंने इतना मेहनत किया, उधर मुझे कुछ नहीं मिला, तुझे कहाँ से मिला? That time you can tell him, I learned from Dhruv Maharaj that self efforts are not sufficient. You require the blessings of somebody like Narad Muni. Yes? So I'll stop here. And he received the darshan of Narayan. We'll stop here. And after he received the darshan of Narayan, what happened between Dhruv and Narayan, that we'll discuss on 27th. 27th is Saturday. So 27th evening we can have a program. We'll discuss. And he did his tapasya, and then he got the darshan of Lord Narayan in 6 months. And when he received the darshan of Lord Narayan, what did he tell Narayan? तो जिसके लिए इतना सब किया उसने क्या किया? ये सब तपस्या किया, नारद मुनि को रिजेक्ट कर दिया. हाँ? वो किस लिए किया? आई वॉन्ट ए प्लेस फ्रॉम वेयर नो बडी कैन शेक मी. तो जब नारायण सामने आए तो बोला क्या उसने? बोलना चाहिए ना, राइट? सो दैट क्वेश्चन विल बी सॉल्व्ड ऑन 27th इवनिंग. what was his dialogue with Narad Muni? Okay, so I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. जय श्री ध्रुव महाराज की जय, जय श्री नारद मुनि की जय, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे.
Let us thanks for taking us this valuable time. Prabhuji is very, very busy. But whenever I ask Prabhuji, can you give class for Jagruti devotees? Prabhuji never says no. And today Prabhuji explains so many valuable lessons from the life story of Dhruv Maharaj. Actually, I was feeling that I should hear this lecture again, once again, because so many valuable lessons were coming out. So we really thank Prabhuji.
Thank you
for taking out your time for all of us. Let us thank Prabhuji in our traditional side by loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
So my Hari Bol, ये तो एक बार होता है महीने में, but I am requesting all of you to please take chanting seriously. I am not saying you are not chanting seriously. I am not saying you are not doing it already, but I am just saying go deeper in the chanting. You are already serious. That's why you are part of this Jagruti program, right? But every day we have to actually understand that this Maha Mantra is not ordinary. It's not just any other mantra. So holy names of Radha Krishna. When we sincerely chant Hare Krishna, Krishna can empower us. No challenge will become tough for us. Any challenge may come in life, we'll just go through it. Radha Krishna are there. So please take this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra seriously. Don't make it a hobby. Don't make it a fashion. अरे मेरा ये दोस्त भी चैंट करता है, ये भी दोस्त भी चैंट करता है, सब लोग चैंट, मैं ही अकेला रह गया तो मैं भी करता हूँ. That's not a good reason to chant Hare Krishna. We chant Hare Krishna because it is my relationship with Krishna. ये मेरा खुद का रिश्ता है भगवान से. सबका रिश्ता है भगवान से, भगवान सबके साथ रिश्ता रख सकते हैं, लेकिन माय हरे कृष्णा is my relationship with Krishna. It is not dependent on his relationship with Krishna. It's not dependent on his relationship. His relationship is with Krishna is separate. My relationship, I should develop my relationship with Krishna. खाना मैं खाता हूँ, सब लोग, आप लोग खाए, आप लोग, मेरा भी हो गया, ऐसा होता है क्या? So इसलिए my chanting is my responsibility. My chanting is my endeavor, my effort, my sincerity. So we should chant nicely. Okay. So on Ekadashi, maybe you can have japa session on Ekadashi or Sunday. We should all come together on Zoom and just audio chant together. And that will actually increase the quality of chanting. So I would suggest every Sunday morning, holiday रहता है, so you should chant together in the morning, 6 to 7 in the morning. And if somebody is finding it little early, you join at 6:30. But to get maximum advantage, 6 to 7 in the morning, if you join on Zoom, you will get some energy. Arey, thoda. Thank you. Thank you.